If you have seen my history series on Rome Total War, you will know that the game is surprisingly more accurate than most people would think. From historical characters, to faction emblems, to starting regions, having secret historical meanings. Yet there is also a lot of history that is not there, which would be good to see and would also fit. Top 5 Missing Things in Total War is a series of mine that looks into this missing history, and today we are talking about Rome Total War units that would fit perfectly into the game, yet never did. First on this list, in 5th place, I put Etruscan mercenaries. Etruscan civilization dates back to about 1200 to 900 BC, and for most of their time they were the most dominant culture in the Italian peninsula. Italy's most ancient people, as stated by kings and generals. They existed until the year 264 BC, yet were mostly done by 280 BC. Rome Total War starts in 270 BC, meaning their culture would certainly still be present in-game, and so it would only be natural for them to appear in the game in some form, even if it is only just as a unit reference. I feel an Etruscan mercenary unit could fit. This unit could appear in the Julii region, the Caralis region, and maybe even in Sicily at times, reflecting both their land and their trade influence. I see the Etruscans fitting similarly to the Samnite mercenaries, spearmen, but historically their main weapon was the phalanx. Either way, it does not really matter what unit they are, as they should be rare, yet I feel they are needed to be present, even if it is just for the game to have one extra historical reference to them. 4th, and I have gone with the Praetorian Guard. Now the Praetorian is of course in the game already, but what I am suggesting is having Guard on the end of the name. Historically, the Praetorian Guard were mostly spearmen, used to guard the Emperor. Although they have been used at other times and for other roles, the bodyguard aspect is what they are most famous for. Imagine if the Praetorian Guard were this elite spear unit, the best unit in the game, yet were only given to the Roman family faction leader who controls Rome. So for most of the game you will not have it, yet once you start the civil war, take Rome, become emperor, then your leader's bodyguard changes to this super elite unit. I feel it would add a bit more depth and history. 3rd, and I went for literally any ship for Carthage. The Scipii get unique ships such as the Decra, so why not Carthage? Carthage was the largest naval power at the time, and this is heavily underrepresented in-game. I feel giving Carthage their own unique ship to recruit, although it must be cheap, so that we can see Carthage recruit a lot more of them and see a true massive Carthaginian fleet, would add a lot more of a historical feel to Carthage, fighting as them or against them, and overall make them more unique and stand out much more. Similarly, for 2nd place I went for mercenary ships. I love in Medieval 2 how you can just get a mercenary cog and sail wherever you needed to go, and I feel that many times in Rome Total War this would be a great addition. Historical as well, as during this time piracy was rampant in the Mediterranean, so it would only be natural that surely at times some of those boats would be close to shore and you can recruit them as mercenaries. Like in Medieval 2, these should be super expensive, and so the player would only really want to use them on small trips and then disband them. Although, to be honest, money is not a problem in Rome Total War. So really you could get away of having quite a few of these. Maybe not then. I don't know. Yes, I think they will fit, but they should be rare. It shouldn't be as frequent as it is in Medieval 2. Honourable mention time, and I've gone for literally any Iron Age unit for Egypt. Honourable mention number 2, and more serious now, a Galatian swordsman unit, part of the Seleucid roster, or maybe as a mercenary, could have been interesting. This would fit historically. For those who do not know, an army of Gauls invaded Macedon, yet they turned away and went to Anatolia instead. They were defeated by the Seleucids, yet allowed to settle. A barbarian Gallic kingdom was hence founded in Anatolia, known as Galatia. I mentioned these and went into more detail with my top 5 missing Total War factions video. They would certainly fit nicely there in game as a faction, but I was a little bit unsure as just a unit. But to represent it, what they could just simply do is add a barbarian warband mercenary and just put that there instead as a recruitable mercenary. That would be enough of a historical reference for it, and that is why I did not put it on the real list. Number 1. The most wanted unit from MELKOR. Every single unit type, I believe, is portrayed in-game as a mercenary. Spearmen, cavalry, camels, elephants, archers, javelins, and so on. But the only one that is not covered, I believe, is chariots. This makes sense from a historical perspective. The days of the chariots were dying. They were no longer the main weapon of the day. However, despite this, they were used. They are in-game, and I don't think they should be cut completely from the mercenary pool, because they are simply dwindling in use. I don't think that's a valid reason. I would love to see a mercenary chariot unit that spawns only in Britain, that also has a fear ability. It would just add that bit more to the rosters at times, and this could be a very enjoyable unit. They should be rare like elephants, but I don't feel they should be cut out altogether. Just my opinion. And that is all. I am going to be honest, when I started this video, I thought it was going to be quite easy, but when I got through, it turned out to be much more difficult than I imagined. Yes, there's a lot of units that could be added historically, yet they also have to make the faction feel accurate and work with gameplay. Most did not make it onto this list due to gameplay reasons, which I believe is more important than history in a game, obviously. Anyway, this is just my opinion. Let me know which unit you would add, if you agree, disagree, and all of that. Check out my similar history videos also. But for now, hope you enjoyed, hope you learnt something. I've been MELKOR, and I hope to see you in tomorrow's video. For now, goodbye.